of you building beans today, and welcome to the stream. I am Rozin, currently as the professor, and we're doing some City Skylines 2 today. Meanwhile, Rygone here is going to be reading a spooky story for us all. So I'm not going to be talking a huge amount, but I'll be talking every now and then, you know. But yeah, I'm going to be mostly letting Rygone take the reins with the story, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Hello, hello! My name is Rygone, and today we're going to be continuing the story The Silent Companions. Let me actually tell you who it's written by. Because I'm sure it's written by, some fantastic author or another. The Silent Companions, written by Laura Purcell. We've read through the first chapter, and I found that it was quite excellent, and partway through the second chapter, so we're going to continue where we left off. Last we saw, Elise, our main protagonist, was bound in a hospital. She was being visited by a doctor who was trying to help her work through her trauma with a piece of chalk and a slate. And it seems that she fears what it is that she has to discover, but she's resolute in determining the truth, because it seems it might be the only way that she can forget. In the second chapter, we met Elise, assumedly before all that happened, going through a carriage ride before the carriage became stuck, and she had to dirty her beautiful dress on the mud below. Now, however, she's finding out that she is now the mistress of an estate, one that is in disrepair with servants who apparently may not like her, and villagers who are, well, quite frankly, destitute. I guess we'll find out how she's able to get through it. Turn the music down a little bit, this royalty-free music. And let us continue. The river whispered to them, a rushing, disembodied sound. Moss-speckled stone formed a bridge across the water. It must be the very bridge from which the house took its name. It was not like any of the bridges in London. Instead of modern architecture and engineering, Elsie saw crumbling arches teased by foam and spray. A pair of discolored stone lions flanked the posts on either side of the water. It made her think of drawbridges, the Tower of London, Traitor's Gate. But this river was not like the Thames. It was not gray or brown, but clear. She squinted, her eyes catching a flick beneath the surface. Dark shapes swirling. Fish? When they reached the other side, an old gatehouse sprang up as if from nowhere. Peter slowed the carriage, but no one came out to greet them. Elsie put the window down, wincing at the sensation of her clammy sleeve moving against her arm. "Carry on, Peters." "There!" cried Sarah. "The house is there!" The road sloped down across a range of hills, where the sun was beginning to set. At the very end, crouching in a horseshoe of red and orange trees, was the bridge. Elsie put up her veil. She saw a low-slung Jacobean building with 3 gables on the roof, a central lantern tower, and red brick chimneys looming behind. Ivy poured out of the eaves and engulfed the turrets at either end of the house. It looked dead. Everything was dead. Parterres lay prostrate beneath the soulless gaze of the windows, the hedges brown and riddled with holes. Vines choked the flower beds. Even the lawns were yellow and sparse, as if a contagion spread slowly throughout the grounds. Only the thistle thrived, its purple spikes bristling from amidst the colored gravel. The carriage drew to a halt on a gravel sweep, opposite the fountain that formed the centerpiece of the decaying forecourt. Once, where the stone was white, and the sculpted figures of dogs on top were new, it must have been a handsome structure. No water sprang up from the jets. Cracks wiggled across the empty basin. Sarah drew back.
"They're all out to see us," she said. "The entire staff."
Elsie's stomach plunged. She had been too busy staring at the gardens. Now she observed 3 women dressed in black waiting outside the house. 2 wore white caps and aprons, while a third was bareheaded, showing a coil of iron hair. Beside her stood a stiff, formal-looking man. Elsie looked down at her skirts. They were patched like a rusty iron gate. Mud made the bombazine heavy and caused it to cling around her knees. What would her new servants think if they saw her in such a state? She should be neater and cleaner in her factory clothes.
"A mistress must meet her household, but I had hoped not to do it caked in mud."
Without warning, the carriage door swung open. She jumped. A young man stood before her, his slim figure clad in a black suit.
"Oh, Julian, it's you. Thank goodness." "Elsie? What on earth happened?"
His light brown hair was swept back from his face, as if to highlight the dismay written there.
"An accident. The carriage wheel got stuck and I fell."
She gestured to her skirt.
"I can't see the household like this. Send them back inside."
He hesitated, his cheeks flushed beside his whiskers.
"But it would look so strange. What am I supposed to say? I don't know. Tell them anything."
She heard the brittle sound of her own voice and felt dangerously close to tears.
"Make up some excuse." "Very well."
Julian closed the door and stood back. She saw him turn, the breeze lifting a curl of hair at his collar.
"Miss Bainbridge is indisposed. She will have to go straight to her bed. Set a fire and send up some tea."
Bumbles sounded outside, but then there was the welcome crunch of feet trudging back over gravel. Elsie breathed a sigh of relief. She did not have to face them. Not yet. Of all people, Elsie found servants the most judgmental. Jealous of their master's station, since it was tied closely to their own. Rupert's London household had turned up their noses at her when she arrived from the match factory. Her confession that she hadn't kept domestic help since her mother died had sealed their contempt. Only respect for Rupert, and Rupert's warning glances made them civil. Sarah leant forward.
"What will you do? You'll need to get changed straight away without being seen. And Rosie isn't here."
No. Rosie was unwilling to leave her London life and wages to live in this backwater. Elsie could not blame her, and to be honest, she was secretly relieved. She'd never felt comfortable changing in front of her lady's maid, having strange hands against her skin. But she would need to hire another one soon, if just for appearance's sake. She did not want to get the reputation of being one of those eccentric widows populating the countryside.
"I dare say I'll manage without Rosie for now."
Sarah's face brightened.
"I could help you with the buttons at the back. I'm good at buttons."
Well, that made one thing. Julian appeared back beside the door, opened it again, and extended a hand.
"The staff are safely inside. Come on now. Climb out."
She struggled down the steps and landed awkwardly with a sprinkle of stones. Julian raised his eyebrows at her dress.
Oh, good heavens.
She snatched her hand away. While he helped Sarah down, she looked over the house. It revealed nothing. Curtains were drawn across the windows in an unrelenting screen of black. Ivy fluttered against the wall.
Come, the trunks you sent ahead are in your rooms.
They climbed a shallow flight of steps to the open door. Before they crossed the threshold, a musty tang reached out and forced its way up Elsie's nostrils. Someone had tried to cover it with a softer, powdery note. There were scents of a linen drawer, lavender and green herbs. Julian walked briskly on, as he did in London, his footsteps tapping over a grey stone floor set with lozenges. Elsie and Sarah dawdled behind him, keen for a look at the house. The door opened straight into the great hall, a cavern of antique splendor. Medieval details stood out: a suit of armor, short swords displayed in fans on the wall, and worm-eaten roof beams above.
Did you know Charles I and his queen once stayed here?
Asked Sarah.
My mother told me, imagine them walking right across this floor.
Elsie was more concerned with a fire blazing in a black iron grate. She hurried towards it and held her gloved hands out to the flames. She was used to coal. There was something unnerving about these crackling logs and the deep, sweet smell of their smoke. It reminded her of the deal they used in the match factory to make the splints, the way it split under the saw. She looked away. On either side of the fireplace stood two heavy wooden doors embossed with iron.
Elsie,
Julian sounded impatient.
there will be a fire in your room. Yes, but I...
She turned, and the muscles in her face set like wax. Under the stairs, she had not noticed it before. A long, narrow box lay on a table in the center of an oriental rug.
Is that...
Julian hung his head.
Yes, he was in the drawing room at first, but the housekeeper informs me it is easier to keep this room aired and fresh.
Of course. The smell of herbs. Elsie reared back, feeling her insides curl. She wanted to remember Rupert smiling and dapper, as he had always been, not as a lifeless doll on display. She cleared her throat.
I see. And at least the neighbors will not have to trapeze through the house when they come to pay their respects.
That dreadful listlessness which had possessed her when she had first heard of Rupert's death started up, but she pushed it back down. She did not want to be swamped by grief or bitterness. She only yearned to pretend it had never, ever happened.
There do not seem to be many neighbors.
Julian leant on the banister.
Only the Vicars come so far.
How terribly sad that was. In London, men would be honored to see Rupert one last time. She regretted, once again, that they had not brought him back to town for a fine burial. But Julian had said it was impossible. Sarah walked to the coffin and peered in.
He looks peaceful. Dear man, he deserves to be.
She turned to Elise and held out a hand.
Come, Miss Bainbridge, and look. No. It's all right. Come. It will do you good to see how serene he is. It will help with the grief.
She severely doubted that.
I don't want to. Miss Bainbridge?
A log exploded in the grate. Elsie yelped and jumped forwards. A shower of sparks dusted her skirts and melted to ash before they reached the rug.
Goodness!
She put a hand to her chest.
These old fires, I could have been set alight. Hardly.
Jolyon ran his fingers through his hair.
We must get you upstairs before the servants come, and... Elsie? Elsie, are you listening to me?
The leap away from the fire had done it. She was close enough to see the peaks of Rupert's profile rising over white satin, the gray-blue tip of a nose, eyelashes, curls of salt and pepper hair. It was too late to look away. She inched forwards, each footstep placed with the care she would use to approach a sleeping child. Gradually, the high wall of the coffin receded. Breath left her in a rush. It was not Rupert, not really. What lay before her was an imitation, as cold and featureless as a stone effigy. Its hair was perfectly greased in place, with no hint of the curl that always fell over Rupert's left eye. The broken veins that had adorned Rupert's cheek were a mere smudge of gray. Even his mustache looked false, standing out prominently from drying skin. How that mustache had tickled. She felt it again at her cheek, under her nose. The way she had always laughed when he kissed her. Laughter was Rupert's gift. It felt wrong to stand around him solemn and silent. He would not have wanted that. As her eyes traveled down to his chin, and the dots of stubble that would now never grow, she noticed small, blue flecks on the skin. They reminded her of childhood and sewing needles, sucking hard on a finger. Of course, they were splinters. But why would he have splinters on his face?
Elsie,
Jolyon's voice was firm.
we must go up. There will be time enough to say goodbye tomorrow.
She nodded and rubbed her eyes. It was not hard to drag herself away. Whatever Sarah thought, staring into a coffin was nothing like bidding farewell to her husband. The time for that had passed with his last breath. All they had in the casket was a pale shadow of the man who had once been Rupert Bainbridge. It took 2 flights of steps before they cleared the beams of the great hall and emerged onto a small landing. Only a few lamps were lit, flaring in patches and revealing red flock wallpaper.
This way,
said Jolyon, turning left. Puffs of dust rose beneath Elsie's feet as she followed, her damp skirt swishing against the carpet. The corridor conveyed an air of shabby grandeur. Tapestry sofas lurked against the walls with chipped marble busts dotted in between. They were horrible things, watching her with dead expressions, shadows creeping over their cheekbones and sinking into the sockets of their eyes. She didn't recognize any as famous writers or philosophers. Perhaps they were previous owners of the bridge. She searched their impassive faces for a trace of Rupert, but found none. Jolyon took a turn to the right, then another quickly to the left. They came up against an arched door.
this is the guest suite, he explained. I thought you would be comfortable here, Miss Bainbridge.
Sarah blinked.
A suite? Just for me?
Yes, indeed. He gave a tight smile.
Your box is in there. I will sleep down the hall by the servants' stairs.
He gestured with a sweep of his arm.
Miss Bainbridge is in a mirror suite on the other wing.
Elsie raised her eyebrows. A mirror suite. Was that the level to which she had sunk? How thrilling. We'll be just like twins. She tried to keep the tartness from her voice, but feared she did not succeed.
I will just settle in.
Sarah said awkwardly.
Then I will come and help you dress, Miss Bainbridge.
Take all the time you need, said Julian. I will show my sister to her room. Then we will enjoy a late dinner together.
Thank you.
Grabbing Elsie's arm, he frog-marched her back the way they had come. You must not treat Sarah like a servant, he grunted.
Indeed I won't, for she does no work to earn her living. She is a spinster here on my charity, is she not?
She was the only family Bainbridge had. Elsie tossed her head.
That is not true. I was Rupert's family. I was his next of kin.
Oh, yes. You managed to convince him of that.
What on earth do you mean?
Julian slowed to a halt. He peered over his shoulder, checking there were no servants loitering in the shadows. I am sorry. That was crass of me.
It is not your fault. But I thought Bainbridge and I had agreed, before the marriage, exactly what would happen in this situation. It was a gentleman's agreement, but Bainbridge...
Unease crept into her stomach.
What are you saying?
He did not tell you? Bainbridge changed his will a month before he died. His solicitor read it to me.
What did it say?
He left it all to you. Everything. The house in London, the bridge, his share in the match factory. No one else benefits in the least. Of course he did. A month ago, that was when she had told him about the baby. To think that after all she had been through, she had managed to marry a considerate man, a prudent man, and lost him. Careless, Ma would have said. Just like you, Elizabeth.
Is it strange that he should change his will? I am his wife, and I am carrying his child. Surely the arrangement is perfectly natural?
It would be, a year or two down the line, and I would have no quarrel with it. Shaking his head, he moved off down the corridor. She tried to keep up, unable to concentrate on the path he took. The wine-red walls seemed to billow like cloth.
I don't understand. Rupert has acted like an angel. This is but the answer to my prayers.
Rygone?
Just like I'm reading.
Oh.
Okay. I just need to see this next part to see who was saying this. No, it is not. Think, Elsie, think. How does it look? A man everyone thought was a confirmed bachelor marries a woman 10 years his junior and invests in her brother's factory. He changes his will to make her the sole beneficiary. Then, a mere month later, he is dead. A man who appeared as strong as an ox is dead, and nobody knows how. Glacier crystals formed in her chest.
Don't be ridiculous. No one would suggest...
Oh, they are suggesting it, I assure you, in whispering it. Think of the match factory. Think of my good name. I have to steer through the storm of gossip, alone. She stumbled. That was why Julian wanted her in the country. Why he refused to move Rupert's body back to London for burial. Scandal. She remembered the last scandal. Police officers in their iron hats taking down statements. The whispers that buzzed in her wake like a trail of flies. And those hungry, pointed looks. Years of it. It would take years to fade away.
Dear God, Joe. How long will the baby and I have to stay in this place?
He flinched. For the first time, she noticed the pain shining in his eyes. Damn it, Elise. What is wrong with you? I am telling you about a stain on our name, on the factory, and all you can think about is how long you will be away from London? Do you even miss Rupert? She missed him like air.
You know I do.
Well,
I must say you do a good job of hiding it. He was a fine man, a great man. Without him, we would have lost the factory. I know.
He stopped at the end of the corridor.
This is your room. Perhaps once you are settled inside, you will have the decency to grieve. I am grieving, she snapped. I just do it in a different manner to you.
Pushing past him, she flung open the door and slammed it behind her. She closed her eyes and leant back, both palms flat against the wood, before she exhaled and sank to the floor. Jolyon had always been so. She should not take his words to heart. 12 years her junior, he had always been at leisure to feel, to cry. It was Elsie who endured, and had that been the point, to keep little Jolyon in ignorance for what she suffered? After a few minutes, she was mistress of herself. She rubbed her forehead and opened her eyes. A clean, bright room lay before her with windows on either side, one facing out to the semicircle of rusted trees that embraced the house, and the other angled across at the west wing, where Sarah was staying. Her trunks lay heaped in the corner. A fire sizzled in the grate, and Elsie was relieved to see a washstand beside it. Strands of steam rose from the ewer. Hot water. She heard Ma's voice clear in her ear.
Silly girl making such a fuss. Let's wash all those bad thoughts away.
Climbing to her feet, she stripped off her gloves and went to splash her face. Her sore eyes instantly felt better, and the towel she used to wipe her skin was wonderfully soft. Whatever the flaws of the place, she could not fault the housekeeper. A heavy four-poster bed carved in rosewood loomed against the far wall. Cream bedclothes embroidered with flowers were spread across it. Then came the dressing table, its three-piece mirror swathed in black fabric. She sighed. It was the first looking-glass she had seen since leaving the station. Time to assess the damage done by her tumble in the mud. Placing the towel back on its rail, she walked over and sat on the stool. She drew the black material aside. It was a foolish superstition, covering mirrors to stop the dead from becoming trapped. Nothing was held inside the glass except 3 blonde-haired, brown-eyed women, each one a sorry state. Her gauze veil fluttered at the nape of her neck like a netted crow. Wind-blown curls frizzed around her forehead, and, despite her brief wash, a smear of mud remained on her right cheekbone. Elsie scrubbed until it melted away. Thank goodness she had refused to see the servants. Slowly, she reached up her weary arms to remove her bonnet and cap, and began the long task of unpinning her hair. Her fingers were not as nimble as they used to be. She had grown accustomed to having Rosie do it. But Rosie and all the comforts of that past life were miles away. A pin snagged on a tangle and made her gasp. She dropped her hands, upset beyond reason at this small annoyance. How did this happen? She asked the disheveled woman before her. They had no answer. The glass here was cold and harsh. It did not contain the smiling, pretty bride she had stared at such a short time ago. Unbidden, a scene rose up in her memory. Rupert, standing behind her that first night and brushing her hair. Pride in his face, flashes of the silverback brush. A feeling of safety and trust, so rare. As she considered his reversed image, she could have loved him. The marriage was a business relationship, meant to secure Rupert's investment in the match factory. But that night, she had truly looked at the man and realized she could grow to love him in time. Alas, time was the one thing they did not have. A tap at the door made her start.
Buttons?
Sarah's voice.
Yes. Come in, Sarah.
Sarah had swapped her traveling dress for an evening gown that had seen better days. Black dye mottled it in uneven patches. She hardly looked presentable, but at least she plaited her mousy hair.
Have you chosen a gown? I could ask one of the maids if there is a flat iron. No, please just dig out a nightgown.
If Julian wanted her to grieve, that's what she would do. She would act exactly as he had after Ma. That would serve him. He would see how irritating and useless it was to have her whimpering upstairs. Sarah's reflection twisted its hands in the mirror.
But dinner. I'm not going down. I have no appetite. But I cannot have dinner alone with Mr. Livingstone. What would people say? We are barely acquainted.
Irritated, Elsie rose to her feet and went to find a nightgown herself. Had Sarah really been a lady's companion? She should know
Rinth
better
the
than to
Potato
stand
just
and argue with her
resubscribed for
mistress.
3 months. Rinth 8R, Rinth
Nonsense.
8R,
One
Rinth
sec.
8R.
You must.
Rin, thank you so much for that resub and your 3 months of support at tier 3. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sorry, Rygone.
All right. Nonsense. You must have spoken to Julian at the wedding. I was not at your wedding. Miss Crabbley was taken ill. Do you not remember? Oh.
Elsie took a moment to pull a nightgown from a trunk and arrange her face before she turned.
Of course not. You'll have to forgive me that day.
She looked down at the white cotton in her hands.
It all passed in such a happy blur.
Honiton lace, orange blossom. She had never thought to be a bride. One put aside such fancies after the age of 25. For Elsie, the prospect had seemed even less likely. She despaired of finding someone she could trust. But Rupert had been different. He carried something in the air around him, an aura innately good.
I understand,
Said Sarah.
Now come here. Let's see about that dress.
Elsie would rather have changed by herself, but there was no choice. She could hardly tell Rupert's cousin that she owned a button hook. Only whores were meant to use them. Sarah worked deftly, her fingers moving over Elsie's shoulders and down her waist like the lightest taps of rain. The gown fell whispering into her hands.
Such fine material. I do hope the mud will wash out. Perhaps you can take it downstairs for me. There must be a scullery maid who will put it in the copper without telling for a crown.
Sarah nodded. She folded the gown and hugged it to her chest.
And the rest?
She sought a coy look at the cage of petticoats, spring steel, and hoops holding Elsie in.
You will be able to manage? Oh, yes.
Self-conscious, she put her hands to the tape securing her crinoline.
I didn't always have a maid, you know.
It was Sarah's silence and stillness that made Elsie's flesh creep. Her eyes fixed on Elsie's waist and expanded, darker and strangely glittering.
Sarah?
Sarah shook herself.
Yes, very well. I'll be on my way.
Elsie looked down at her body, confused. What had made Sarah stare? With a painful jolt, she realized her hands. She had taken her gloves off to wash her face and revealed her hands in all their chapped ugliness. Work-hardened hands. Factory hands. Not a lady's hands. But before Elsie could say anything in her defense, Sarah opened the door and walked out. That is the end of Chapter 2. We will go ahead and we will take about a few minute break so I can recover my voice.
Why would she have paused, dear?
Huh?
Rygone's reading a... It's not a TF story. Sorry, dear Guardian.
No TF stories today. This is a ghost story. Snuggles to shine.
I made a joke about having two papas, and Scatter was like, eh?
Oh, Snuggles to shine? Sag. But I hope you all are enjoying the story so far. It's interesting. This is my first reading of it. I've never read this book before in my life. So I'm kind of liking the pace that it's taking. What do you think of it so far, Zim?
I'm definitely enjoying it.
Well,
I don't know if I'd actually have read it by myself, but you reading it definitely adds a flair to it.
what do you mean by yourself? Not a fan of ghost stories?
When I read, it's typically more adventurous stuff. Like
gotcha.
the Dresden Files, Wheel of Time, etc.
Yeah, those are good stories.
Just because, books are a time investment.
That they are.
So I have to manage that time that I have available for stuff that I'm typically interested in.
Uh-huh. Let's see. Fox Empire says frustrated cat screech noises. Fluffed up when you went to record an episode of StarCraft series. You forgot to press record before beating the mission. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't even know StarCraft had a series.
Yes, StarCraft has an actual storyline and stuff to it. Though I think Fox Empire is talking about something they're recording themselves.
Oh, I see.
Burn and Sun, this is not an audiobook. This is Rygone reading.
Oh. I'm dead. Yep, we're just doing some narration. We're reading through a ghost story today. And I know Zim wanted to hear me read it, so that's why I waited until he got on. We'll take about 3 more minutes and then we shall continue. I'm gonna see what the length of this next chapter is. Alright, this next chapter is pretty short, so we might do 2 chapters in a row. Oh, but the next chapter right after that is long. Oh, it's very long. Holy shit. Okay, we might need to take a break after all. just to prep myself. But yeah, I hope you all are enjoying it, and feel free to chat a little bit. Say what your thoughts and comments are. Since the second chapter right after this one is pretty long, I might take a break somewhere in between when I feel like we get to a good spot. And then we can answer questions and say the things that we need to say. I'm curious to see where the ghost portion of this ghost story starts coming in.
Dear Guardian wants to know how long this story is.
It is 305 pages long. I can't give you an exact time because I don't know how to translate pages into time. But right now we are on page 29, if that gives you any indicator. So we've got a ways to go. I'll be probably breaking the story up into a few different episodes and just kind of casually read through it. Oh, I got a response from another job position.
Nice.
Wrong. Oh, it's for a private practice business.
Are they able to? With your still training stuff?
Yeah, so long as I receive supervision, which she would be able to grant.
Oh, cool. Do it.
Ugh.
Do it and your transformation to the dark side will be complete.
Okay, that's
I will try to talk to them Friday. I will not be able to look around the office. I'm not going to spend like $15 driving up just to look around an office.
Yeah.
Oh, well, since I'm paused for the moment anyway, I guess I will quickly go use the facilities, then I will answer this email and we will continue.
Sounds good. Oh my god, Kieran. Bad. Bad. I am just, trying to manage all of this stuff. Like, there keeps being a demand for commercial. Meanwhile, I've got most of my existing commercial places complaining about not enough customers. So it's like, why is there a demand for commercial if none of them are being filled?
and the friend could not find out what some of them were. I swear I've seen them before.
Also, just a reminder to everybody, we are running Stream Raiders Dungeons mode, so do go place your troops, please.
Some really cute cat shit.
Oh no, dear. Oh no. Truly, this is the worst outcome.
They're like the
Well, it's especially annoying with this one because it's new and I don't understand how it works in a lot of ways. Especially when it comes to the healthcare because they keep complaining about inadequate healthcare. Meanwhile, I don't know why when the healthcare is definitely more than sufficient when it's not even halfway full or even a quarter full. So I don't know what people are complaining about.
I just exist.
The hospital doesn't work? I don't even have a hospital. I've only got clinics.
This is
I can't afford a hospital. Oh, could somebody maybe look that up for me? I would be very grateful.
though for Papa.
Ah, there's a lot of places I haven't put parks or anything at. Oh no.
And you can't tell me I'm wrong with how much he's. Huh.
Stick that down there.
This was apparently for a game or something, but it looked kind of cute, so
Put that there.
a mix of fennec springtail cat.
Gotta get things all purty.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Have you ever seen the Secret Saturdays? Sorry. You just sounded annoyed with how you said that. It was a
Dog park
Cartoon
there.
Network show where like this boy and his family know about
Oh,
aliens.
that basically did
That
nothing.
makes sure the
Oh,
rest of the world don't know about them. But there's like
okay, we'll
some
put
people who
another
are
one
experts
there.
being like, we can use cryptids for money.
And one there.
Failing, but you know. We stabbed the chupacabra in the back. What's the worst thing?
Okay.
Hello there, Mango.
It was like cool in some ways, but it was also like
We're gonna go ahead and put some office space over here, I think. See a few mentions, but no real solutions. Is it maybe that the healthcare itself is just bugged?
How?
It says that I would not be able to bill Medicaid, which is honestly fine. Medicaid clients were honestly pretty difficult to actually get in through the door. Nothing against anybody who needs Medicaid, but I had a lot of clients that because they weren't paying for it, they oftentimes just didn't care. Sometimes if they showed up for sessions, which negatively impacted me.
Yeah, I know I'm on Medicaid. I may not be able to get on disability itself, but they, because of the streaming stuff, but they at least gave me Medicaid, so that's a huge help. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, Medicaid is a godsend for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
It's just unfortunately, some of my clients are just like, well, I know I've been referred to see you, and I know I scheduled with you, but I'm not actually going to see you because, well, I'm not paying for it. That was honestly the part. Like, I wouldn't care if they didn't want to see me, and they could just say that and not schedule, but they did. They would schedule, and then they just wouldn't show up.
Kieran, yeah,
Yeah, but you said
I will say that I can absolutely see that some people just miss their appointments.
situation.
It's... There's also the consideration that sometimes they just may not have the means to get to an appointment.
Okay, well,
like...
Which sometimes happens.
Just
But,
like,
you know,
let's throw this at
I get clients who would miss like 3-5 appointments in a row. They wouldn't call. They wouldn't say what's going on. They wouldn't say, "Oh, hey, I'm having transportation problems. Can we reschedule?" Or, "Hey, I'm not able to make it. Can we figure something out?" Or whatever. They just no contact. Wouldn't come in through the door. Nothing.
Normally, yeah. 1 or 2 times at work. The other times, though, I'm thinking of involving the baseball.
Oh, most doctors have that rule, Rin.
You see, you gotta keep it as a bat, but you just can't.
And yes, we do need better transportation in the U.S.
Oh, definitely.
Or this baseball bat, which has a moon attached to the end. What if I just put sticky grenades on the baseball bat? Try surviving that biatch.
I just put down, "Thank you for reaching back out. That all definitely sounds quite involved. I'm interested in talking with you more about this position. If possible, I'd like to do a video call on Friday, please." That should suffice.
Sounds good to me.
Alright. There was another one I needed to poke.
So a friend mid-game, and it's going to have like poker and such.
Oh, no worries, New Year's. It's good to see you.
On their page, and for most of them it says pause and then yes.
Kieran,
But around the end there's a snake character. And
so my computer is doing just fine with CS2. Like, there's been a couple of slight hiccups, but nothing major. But I will say that in my situation, City Skylines 2 is the only thing that's running on the computer. Outside of maybe a couple of, you know, those kind of, more momentary, or those, background programs, like, for keyboard and mouse kind of stuff. Outside of that, the only thing running on the computer is City Skylines. So, definitely don't take my experience with the game as gospel for how it performs. Oh, I have no doubt at all that they will improve.
if I do
Like,
start with arm, so I can pick up
the sad part is that Paradox has had a lot of issues with
they also have
awful releases.
they said they were
However,
and they said
they've also had a good track record of fixing those problems.
so I don't know if they
And
could
relatively
fix it or
quickly
they
at
just
that.
assumed without asking. But they also said
All right, well, that's 2 job interviews in a way. Set up. Cool. Who knows? I might be able to get a job sooner rather than later. Wouldn't that be nice? One of them's with
Yeah.
a established business, and the other's private practice. Which, I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm ready for private practice yet, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, sorry everyone that we're taking some time to get back to the story. Just obviously things have come up that are kind of important.
So, have you actually,
I sent you that I used quite a bit.
like, did you send out these applications, or did you, like, put out your resume and they just responded to you, or?
Both?
Well, like, this one in particular.
So
The one you're not sure
Which one?
about here.
she gets a weapon in
The private
Private
practice.
practice? Okay.
is
They said essentially to send your resume and a short email to them. So that's what I did. It's technically a job application. It's just kind of more casual than a full-on like application
I forget
application.
the exacts, but like,
Okay. Well, what I was
Yeah.
getting at is, like,
that I'm thinking
it sounded
of
like they
and she
reached out to
immediately
you to
just
offer
starts
the
fucking
job
with it. It's
and
like nothing,
or the interview,
nothing
and
survives. I think she
I was like, well,
completes
clearly
her-
they think you're
I
ready.
think the moment she gets this weapon,
I mean, I guess I've not done private practice stuff before. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like I've done some private practice-esque stuff, like seeing clients within an office space. But other than that, it's it's been somewhat difficult.
Yeah.
Lancer.
New Year's, I definitely would not consider. Yeah, I would not consider uh, your experiences with this game as an indication that you need to get a new PC. Because the game is poorly optimized. That is the general consensus. The devs themselves have even said so. So I would not
Mhm.
judge your needing a better PC off of your performance with this game.
So,
Walk inside.
I've got one last thing to do, and that is to call my mother. Just to give her an update on things, because we try to talk at least once every day. So at most, everybody, it'll be just another 4 or 5 minutes, and then I'll be back. So, Zim, I do apologize again. Just lots of stuff kind of coming all out at the same time.
Oh, you're fine.
Joke.
So, I do only have about an hour left.
We should be able to get through at least 1.5 more chapters by then. All right, see you in a second.
Thunderstorm of the tiger is killing its prey. The berserk of the animal world. Thunderstorm of the tiger is killing its prey. The berserk of the animal world. Thunderstorm of the tiger is killing its prey.
Alright, we're gonna throw some office buildings over here. Hopefully these aren't bad places for these, for the office spaces. We'll see. I am not building more commercial. Not until you people stop complaining about not enough customers. I think we need to manage this section, this intersection a little bit more. I think we're gonna do no left turn here. They can only turn right, and I think that might help.
I don't care if we watch it together. At least not at first, but
Looks where you live? Oh. What's up with your place, DB? We're gonna increase the parking fee here.
It's not on Telegram. That's why.
Hopefully encourage more people to take the bus instead of driving over here.
Oh, well, never mind. I guess the cellular network around here is down.
Really, Avalios? And that's odd.
Yeah, and it's not just me. My grandmother's phone is out, too. Oh, well. I'll try to give her another call sometime a little bit later. Oh. I'm just a little anxious about the jobs now. My anxiety's going, whoo.
You've got this. I believe.
Well, it's just kind of like, oh, am I gonna be able to earn enough rent? Like, because like if I suppose I do well in these discussions, and they're like, yeah, we want you to start working right away. I'll be like, oh, okay. How are we gonna figure things out? Because like I'll have to find a place like right away. I know we're still kind of considering our thing. Do I even have enough money for it all? Just like blah. So
Yeah.
lot of thoughts going through the head right now. I might need a second to calm down. So again, I apologize, everyone. We will get back to the reading here shortly. I'm just, whoa, blah. I'm counting my chickens before they hatch. It's like, oh, if I get into a private practice, like, what is that going to look like? Am I going to have enough clients? Am I going to fuck it up? Am I going to move all the way down there and then end up like within a month in just not being able to pay rent on the office space? Like, what is it all going to look like? Should I just stay down here and try to make the travel up to Montana? In which case, that's going to be like a fortune in gas, but it'd be safer because then I wouldn't have to tie myself to a lease.
I
But it
mean,
is a long drive, and with winter coming, like it's not going to be the safest to drive either.
yeah.
Would remote options be a choice? In which case, I'm gonna have to figure something out with this bedroom because it's a small bedroom and it does not look the best. Ugh. What to do? What to do?
I say take a bit, breathe, relax.
finally did.
You'll be fine.
I'm trying to just trying to breathe, trying to relax, just feel like I'm barely getting any time to just, sit down. I was not expecting to start hearing back from job inquiries for at least another week.
Why not?
I don't know, because
No,
You're a
I'm not
hot
fully
commodity.
licensed. Meh, sure.
not good enough.
Actually, I've heard from quite a few businesses before that they typically prefer somebody that's not experienced
I see.
because they get to
So that's
train
why
you in
I'm
exactly the
critical
way they
for
want.
That's true, but with counseling, it's different.
True.
I have to go under a supervisor.
Wait,
So that means if I fuck up, the
20,
supervisor's license is,
to
on the line,
well,
which means that they're less likely to be tolerant of any screw ups that I do. So like if I bill something wrong or if I don't get the paperwork done on time, which is a likelihood with my ADHD, I could end up being, jobless pretty quickly. I don't know. Plus, there's also just the consideration of money. Like I've got as much money saved up as I can, but is it going to be enough to find a new place to rent? Am I going to make enough to be able to pay the next month's rent? Because like with this private position, the hours are not guaranteed. So some days it could be that I only see one or two clients, and some days I see like 50. And if people decide they don't like me as a counselor, they might just stop showing up, in which case my practice could die pretty quickly. I don't know. I'm just having them negative thoughts right now. I just like I'm a mental health professional, but I just don't know. Am I a good counselor yet? I just don't know. Can I actually sustain a private practice?
Well, this is not me just as your friend. This is me as somebody that's actually seen you work and such multiple times. You're ready. Maybe not on the notes front, but I believe you can do it. Genuinely.
I hope so. I really don't want to fuck everything up again.
Well, to be fair, you didn't fuck everything up last time.
I guess. I just got so far behind on the paperwork, though. I really don't want that to happen again. But I also don't want the job to completely consume all my hours of my life, because that's what the last job was trying to do. It was trying to consume everything. You saw me. I was spending entire evenings just doing paperwork, not able to do much else. You know?
Do you need the tail?
Oh, I very much know.
That has never scared me.
This is a true ghost story, everyone. This is the horror. It's just adulthood. These responsibilities.
The true horror. Taxes.
I'm actually not too worried on taxes.
I know, but...
You have been to pay. There you go.
Like, thanks to my mom, I've been consistently filing, and usually I get a little something back. This year, I probably will have to pay, but that's just how it goes. And I'm fine paying taxes, just so long as they actually go to things that help. Like, goodness knows, I don't want my taxes to go to pay for a bomb that kills a kid or whatever. I'd rather it go towards improving infrastructure and getting clean water. But that's all besides the point. I'm just novice. What if I say the wrong thing and I fuck up the job interviews?
I believe I speak for everyone when I say we believe in ya.
Made plans to go to the store?
You're too kind.
I prefer to think I'm just kind enough for what you need and what you deserve.
And well, maybe I'm the too kind one then.
Ooh, we made it to Big Town!
Nice. Thank you for the pets, Mango.
No.
Sorry that I'm just kind of blurting out all my worries here on stream, everybody. This is just my anxiety acting up. I'm just an anxious little thing. I'd be wearing like one of those safety vests that just say "Don't touch," nervous. But God, like, honestly, one of the things I'm just most worried about is what if the experience is similar to what I had before when I was working with the other company? Mountains of paperwork, assessments up the wazoo, clients that don't show up, a supervisor that I'm always afraid to talk to because it's like, fuck. I mean, what if What if the next meeting is you're fired, or hey, you need to do improvement or you're fired?
I unfortunately can't really offer much
He also
on that.
assumed I would be going away.
But I also
Without
know that
actually
you
asking.
are... I know that you're going to be fine.
I hope so.
The puppy? I believe you're talking about Shine.
That was not how I said it.
And Shine is just muted right now. I think
Not
maybe they're
how I said
concentrating
it.
on Hunt
Even
Showdown or
that
something
doesn't
and
imply
don't
you're
want us
dead.
bothering them. I hope they're okay though.
And there goes all my money.
No. What I'd like to do is make a living off streaming, but we know that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh, we're not producing enough power again. Fuck.
Fuck. All right, let's maybe try reading a little bit more of this story. Is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, that's a Zim ready. What about you all out there, chat? Zim's in my chat.
Well, we got an A out of Deer Guardian.
Technicality, there is a difference.
I guess that's a yay?
I
Is
think
that a
so.
good thing?
Normally applies mentally, where tired
What if they're saying they don't want me to keep reading because my voice is horrible?
physical.
That is definitely not the case.
I know a good way.
Alrighty, my dear listeners. Let's go ahead and read chapter 3. Zim, how much time do you have left?
50 minutes.
50 minutes? Okay. We might read this third chapter and then we'll call it. It's a pretty short chapter. But I'd hate to be like right into the fourth one and then you have to leave.
I will say I've got a little bit more leniency. I know Rex is going to be a little late, so it'll be fine.
Well, just let me know. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to chapter 3, where we are coming back to St. Joseph's Hospital. Settle on in. Get yourself something nice to drink and good to eat. This is Rygone with the book The Silent Companions. Chapter 3, St. Joseph's Hospital. It appeared overnight. No sooner did she lift her head from the pillow and wipe her gritty eyes than she saw it. Alien. Wrong. She stumbled out of bed, her feet slapping against the cold floor. It hung before her. She narrowed her eyes. It hurt to look, too bright, but she dare not remove her gaze. Yellow, brown, swirling lines and shapes. It had arrived without her knowing. If she looked away, would it move again? Though it was mute, it seemed to scream, to crash inside her head. She could not go back to bed. She had to hold it at bay. Daylight trickled through the high windows, stark and lime-washed like the walls. Its beams crept across the floor, then past her. At last, the door clicked open.
Miss Bainbridge.
It was Dr. Shepard. Without turning, she raised a shaking hand and extended her index finger.
Oh, you have seen the painting.
The air shifted as he arrived by her shoulder.
I hope it is to your liking.
The silence stretched.
It brightens the place, does it not? I thought that, since you're not permitted to go in the day room and the exercise yard with the other patients, you might appreciate a bit of color.
He transferred his weight to the other foot.
This is the direction our hospital is taking. We'll no longer subject our patients to bleak cells. This is a refuge for recuperation. There must be cheerful, stimulating things.
She saw now what the artist had tried to capture. A nursery scene. A sunlit room with a mother cooing over a crib. Her dress was like a daffodil, her hair like spun gold. There were white roses in a vase, standing upon a table by the baby.
Does it trouble you, Miss Bainbridge?
She nodded.
Why is that?
His shoes creaked as he retrieved her slate. Although the pencil was better for writing her story, the chalk and slate made conversation easier. He placed them into her hands.
Tell me.
Again, he was chiseling away at her piece by piece. That was his plan, she supposed. To strip out every inch of her. Another confession, another memory, until she was spent. Already they came at night. Dreams which were really flashes of the past. Landscapes of blood, wood, and fire. She did not want them. How far back into the squalid past must she delve before he considered her unbalanced and left her alone?
Do you not like the color? Does it not cheer your spirit and remind you of better times?
She shook her head. Better times. He assumed she had those in her past.
I am sorry to have caused you distress. Believe me, I only meant to bring pleasure.
He sighed.
Will you sit down? I will arrange to have the painting removed once we are finished.
With her gaze trained on the floor, she stumbled back to the bed and sat down, gripping the chalk and slate as tightly as if they were weapons, as if they could defend her.
Do not take this little setback to heart, he said. I am pleased with your progress. I read what you wrote. I see you have followed my advice and written as if the events happened to someone else.
She could not look up at him. She was intensely aware of the painting, hanging there, its brushstrokes, its frame. He forced a chuckle.
Memory's a tricky one. They're funny, aren't they? The details that you recall? That cow.
She picked up the chalk, still clumsy.
The cow is not funny.
He bowed his head.
I did not mean... forgive me. It was wrong of me to laugh. Yes,
I could do no
But
other.
actually,
she
she
envied
envied
him
him
that
that
that a new
chuckle.
random district tongue to
Envied
be
the fact
named
that he
Ababa
could
district.
still laugh. Laughter, conversation, music. All these things felt like relics, activities her ancestors may have adopted long ago, but carried no relevance for her. She looked back at the desk.
You stare so intently at the desk. What is it that upsets you?
Her fingers trembled as she wrote.
Wood. Wood? You dislike wood?
The word conjured other sounds. The whoosh of a saw. A door slamming shut.
Interesting. Most interesting. Of course, after the fire and your injury, perhaps that is why?
She blinked at him.
Perhaps that is why you do not like wood. Because it reminds you of the fire. Because it burns.
The fire? He was too quick. He was living at a rate 3 times the speed of her drugged undersea world. Was that why her arms appeared so scarred? Why they never let her see a looking glass? Had she been in a fire?
But of course, there could be other reasons. I have been perusing your file.
For the first time, she noticed the papers he carried beneath his arm. He spread them on the desk, her past laid out, exposed, like a body on the slab at a mortuary.
You grew up, I see, in a match factory. First, it was owned by your father, and upon his death, it passed into trust until you and your brother came of age. I expect you saw a good deal of wood and fire in a match factory.
That too. Nothing was sacred. All must be dredged up. Doubt bloomed in her chest, and he must have sensed it, for he said,
I trust you understand it is not idle curiosity that prompts my investigation, nor is it merely a desire to cure you, though I hope I shall do that too. I am charged by the hospital and the police to write a report.
He picked 2 papers up from the desk and came over to her.
When you first arrived, there was no question of interrogating you. Your injuries were too great.
He showed her the first item, a newspaper clipping with an engraving. It gave a grainy impression of someone swamped in bandages, dark patches appearing where blood had seeped through the linen.
But now you are physically, if not mentally, recovered. It has become a matter of some importance to establish the cause of the fire.
He was not implying. That mummy in the graving was not her. Panic seized her. The paper was dated over a year ago. All that time had passed, yet she remembered little more than a cow in the faces of painted wooden figures. He sat beside her on the bed. She flinched away. The heat of his body, the smell of him. It was all too real.
The remains of 4 bodies were found. 2 of the deaths had been registered already. It is the other 2 that we must account for.
He pushed his spectacles up on his nose.
There is likely to be an inquest. Given your current condition, I will probably be asked to speak on your behalf. So you see why I must push you for information. Find the truth. I want to help.
He kept saying that. Repetition only made it sound false. Presumably, what he really wanted was to establish his career by solving her case. But even if she did not trust him, he was right about one thing. There must be a statement. However painful, She had to press on and remember the rest, or she might end up dangling from the end of a noose. The gallows shouldn't scare her. God knew there was little enough left to live for. But it was instinct, she supposed, burrowed deep within her, fighting like a feral animal. She did not want to die, only to sleep, safe, here, cocooned by white walls and drugs. Splinters of gold flickered before her eyes. His glasses. He was leaning close, peering into her face. You may not remember everything yet, but I'm sure we can do it between us. Wake the part of your mind that lies dormant. She shifted away from him, making the bed creak. Putting the chalk against the slate, she began to write awkwardly. Squeak, squeak. That was her voice now, it seemed. A high, abrasive sound, devoid of words. Where was the fire? Dr. Shepard's eyebrows shot up. You do not recall the fire? Your injury? Vague images floated back. She remembered 1,000 insects of pain gnawing at her back. An odd impression of nurses, medicinal scents. All of it was too far down. She had layers and layers to peel back before she could reach it clearly. Placing one hand on her shoulder, Dr. Shepard took the slate from her fingers. She thought, for an instant, that he was going to hold her hand. But then she realized he was showing her the shining, marbled skin at her wrist. Gently, he folded back the coarse sleeve of her gown. Pink patches welled up around her elbow, misshapen, wrinkled like old fruit. Scars burnt so deep they would never be erased. Yes, she saw it now. They were burns. How had she not realized before? This, he said, laying her hand back down. This photograph was taken a few weeks ago. Do you recall? She recalled the flash and the smoke, the way they had seemed to burst inside her head. But when he slid the photograph onto her lap, the face looking back was a stranger. It was a woman, at least. The striped gown and kerchief tied around the neck seemed to suggest it was a woman. But her hair was stubby, growing in tufts from a mottled scalp. Dark, bumpy skin stretched over her cheeks. One eye sagged at the lower lid. She saw her own name written underneath. Elizabeth Bainbridge, detained on suspicion of arson. That is the end of Chapter 3.
I think we can probably get through the next chapter, too.
Are you sure? It is quite a long one.
But,
I thought the next one, like, there were 2 short chapters and then the long one.
some stuff for 2 weeks.
No, it's one short
It
chapter,
feels
then the long
really
one.
soon for them
Oh.
to have it. Like, they don't have that
Like,
much stuff out yet.
let me count. This is page 35. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 43 pages.
Oh. Well, never mind then.
Yeah, I mean, I got no problem starting to read it, but we're not going to be able to get through it before you have to go.
Yeah, I understand.
I hope you all are enjoying the story so far, though.
I very much am.
No. I guess then we will be taking a break until the next time you're free.
I want to get through it fast too, but
There we go.
I've got.
Ow. Well, I was
I
trying to
mean, it
find
doesn't.
out, so me and Dad sometimes share our accounts. But I also have my
Anyways,
own account.
I'm
Checking his first, 'cause
trying to think of when I'll be available next. Probably later in the evening tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I've got. So tomorrow I've got the. Whatever you call that thing. The Scar development, and then whenever I get tired there of working on that is when I'll switch over to doing something else. Probably more City Skylines.
Uh-huh.
So,
I just feel like
we
it
could
would
do it
be
then.
A little bit,
All right. We can make it a date. Just give me a poke when you're ready, and I'll go ahead and I'll boot up the story and we can continue. Like I said, though, it is quite a lengthy chapter, so even if we do get through it, we might have to break through halfway, if only for a break or to get to it next time, because 43 pages is quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like, my voice will need a break at some point.
Yeah, that's fine.
Especially since all I keep drinking is soda, which we know is great for the voice.
Right.
Oh, all my viewers, they're gone now. No one likes the reading.
That is not true.
Gosh. Oh, what is your chat saying about it?
you know,
They were enjoying it.
doesn't look like it's
Yay!
At least they were telling you to continue.
Maybe there's
Yay!
that are out. Not
Also,
like
Senri, I did set up the
books.
Abababa district. As you
Yeah.
demanded.
Yeah, and I don't mind reading other things. I guess I'll just leave this book for Zim, but I can always read other shorter ghost stories or something like that, or another book entirely if people want to listen to something.
Well, like I said, for this week, late Thursday, early Saturday would work for me.
Yeah, it doesn't
Mhm,
look like
mhm,
you get
mhm.
the remastered despite owning the old one.
Probably not Friday or
A little annoying.
or probably not. Yeah, Friday or Sunday, but yeah, they're enjoying the reading.
Yay! I'm glad. It's been a while since I've done some narration work. And I'll be honest, I did get kind of a motivator yesterday. So it's just like, yeah, I got no problem doing more readings if people will enjoy them and, support the channel and all that. I guess for now we'll just chit chat.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. What's
I'm
up?
just
Which I feel like
Sweet.
kind of works.
Tacos. Taco.
Oh, I see how this. Okay.
But I don't know.
Oh, you want my tacos? You can't have them. My tacos. Grr.
Okay, this one will be shut down. That one can go elsewhere.
Oh no, guys, I'm being canceled. Zib is canceling me.
No. I'm dealing with schooling stuff and trying to manage finances with running education.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I'm debating on what else I want to do today, or maybe I'll just take a quick break and then start streaming later in the evening. My viewers seem to have gone down anyway, so maybe I'll just call it.
I don't know about that.
Well, what would you suggest then?
I don't know.
Rot has the strength of a bow. Rot's gonna buff up.
I'm just,
12 being the highest.
I am
not good.
absorbed in the, game here.
Oh, I see how it is. No time for the Rygone.
That is not at all what I said.
Yeah, it is. You keep hiding all the clocks. Get it? Ha!
Actually, Kip doesn't have good strength. I keep forgetting because his dragon has strength. Paladin would have strength though. He just needs to watch where he's.
Now, you're cute, Avalios. And Rygone.
Oh, okay. I just find it funny that he's sleeping now because I was just about to explain.
Alright, so... I'm gonna put a large road going this way, I think.
It's the festival.
I will go and buy this section of land.
Uh-huh.
My money is rapidly dwindling.
Isn't that always the case, though? Money seems to go quite quickly in this world.
Yes, yes.
No complaint about Michael.
Tis true.
About the one March guy. No complaint about.
Tis the curse of living.
No complaint about
Better
Dylan,
to be dead.
Ed.
Yes?
No,
What do you mean, no?
Joke.
I do not wish to be dead.
Wolf.
Oh.
I just want to be. I want to be alive, but with you know some
Term
spending.
and type of trash. Talking shit is a term and type of trash talk. that refers
Fair
to
enough.
various types of derogatory language aimed at an individual or any type of entity.
Uh-huh.
It does not need to be fake.
Making me stay
It is
alive and
just
keep
derogatory
doing this
language.
freaking grind forever and ever.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like you care about me or something. Gah.
You said I could talk shit about people to their face. Yeah, you lose. I think.
What to do? What to do?
Uh,
I could go back to Deep Rock, but I don't know if I feel like Deep Rock right now.
Come cameo.
Yusuf as me.
Cameo? Cameo what?
Play Spectre
In?
in tonight's Pokemon game.
Which is?
Lost in Chaos.
Oh.
No,
That's
my
where I play
finger
Squirrel.
slipped.
Oh.
And Rex will be there to play
However,
Chomper.
Oh. Maybe. No, I kind of feel like doing something relaxing tonight. Maybe try to do something to reduce this anxiety.
Fair, fair. I definitely cannot say Lost in Chaos is relaxing.
Hmm. I could play some more horror game. That's kind of relaxing.
Greenhouse sold over 5 million copies.
Yeah, but horror season's over.
Well, sure, but I like horror. Horror is never gone. Never ever. It's always in style.
Fair point.
It's on sale right now, too.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. I'm just building a bunch of one-way roads.
Oh, that is sad.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's for my industrial area.
Oh, I see, I see.
I figure it'll be useful for, it'll be useful for managing traffic and whatnot.
Apparently, we have a shit ton of cheese under Missouri.
I know what'll make you smile.
1.4 billion pounds of it.
Oh, the government cheese thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is food.
I'm kind of amused that we have that. Well, good to know that in the apocalypse we'll still have a fuck ton of cheese.
From what I understand, it is the most basic cheese you could possibly have.
But it's still cheese.
Well, yes. It is sustenance. Not
Well,
necessarily
I
sustenance
don't give a
you'll
shit
want
about
to...
sustenance.
Bring back
I want
the
cheese.
feelings with the
It's...
Speaking of which,
Clear.
I actually do remember reading a thing once where they actually said that cheese and potatoes is literally all that you would need to survive. They both carry all of your essential nutrients that you require to live. And this was actually
I can
shown
believe
by
it.
one lady who ate nothing but cheesy potatoes. Literally, for like 25 years, that's all she ate was cheesy potatoes.
I can believe it. I know for a while that's all I was living on. Probably should get back to that. I like my cheesy potatoes. Actually, I think I still have a box in the cabinet. Or, not cabinet, but, you know. Oh, this urban sprawl is driving me nuts. Everybody wants their own house.
I got mine. I don't trust you. I've never lost my keys. Untrue. I've never lost my keys to you. That doesn't have to tell
Oh, we've got a major traffic jam over here. Wait, are people park? Oh, they are parking here. Okay. Let's give them a... We're charging a parking fee. A very large one.
Oh yeah, the state gives us a lot of free cars, but the parking fees are ridiculous.
It's like $50 just to park for an hour. What the fuck?
40, but yes. They keep complaining about not having enough vehicles there, but... There. More buses. Oh, right. Should probably put in another post office box. Or two. Really, Amazon? They just send me a bunch of a notification on literally every device of, there's a deal on a book you might like. They know you're reading.
What?
I mean, technically speaking, you know, the, technically speaking, Twitch is owned by Amazon. It is possible they know. Okay, I finally solved the not enough buses problem. Never mind. I'm like, woohoo, I solved it! And now they're complaining about it again. Fuck. I have 65 buses going around. What the fuck? There. Another bus depot.
Meme. Read a book last night that's supposed to take place in a small southern town of 10,000. And the protagonist lives in an 11th story apartment. And the town has one church. And I'm wondering if the author has ever actually been to a small southern town. Yeah, no. Try the numbers like under 1,000 with maybe like, 20 churches. And definitely no 11th-story apartments.
More taxi stands.
Yesterday, I went to a temporary tattoo parlor and got a tattoo. But it wouldn't wash off this morning, so I went back to complain, but the tattoo parlor wasn't there. Oh, you got it? It took me a second.
Yeah, I got that one. Which is surprising. I usually don't get those kinds of things.
I know. Well, Zim, you're kind of a little weird sometimes, where like obvious jokes kind of just fly by you, but some of the more cryptic ones, it's just like, oh yeah, I got that right away.
Ah, there's my taxi depot.
Oh, I like this one. He's not a drug dealer, Mom. He's a freelance unlicensed pharmacist. I've always liked that one.
Duke, 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 duke.
Oh, here's a funny little story. So, I've been wearing my boyfriend's hoodie around the house for the last week, right? I tried to give it back last night. That's not my hoodie. Realized with horror I've been wearing our builder's hoodie in front of the builder. I had to sleep in it at one point, came out of my room, said good morning to the builder wearing his clothes. After realizing my mistake, after a week, I threw his hoodie into the room he's been working in. He put it in our living room. What does it mean? Am I going out with a builder now? Well, he's pretty old.
Oh no.
I bet he's just like, you know what? You can keep the hoodie.
Yeah. Oh, there's demand for high density? Since when? Are you all gonna abandon these buildings too?
Yes. This is something I've actually thought about before. Why is it that only teachers have substitutes? I want a substitute for every occupation. Imagine getting pulled over by a substitute cop,
Yes.
and instead of getting a ticket or murdered, they just make you watch Stand By Me on their iPhone. I'd love to have a substitute counselor.
Hell to the yes. Alright, we're gonna replace these buildings and these ones. And this block. Wait,
Oh,
why is the demand going away? God damn it!
You're doing too good.
So, in Washington state, killing Bigfoot is a felony. But in Texas, Bigfoot is considered an invasive species and can be hunted at will. This sounds like one of those cutesy funny cryptid posts, but that is actually the legal status of Bigfoot in those two states. You can look it up.
Le Duc.
Le Duc.
The Rygone is Le Cute.
Fine. I am not the cute. You, my friend, are the cute.
Nope, you're definitely the cute. I'm sorry, but it has been determined by a jury of your peers. I suppose I could probably plop down another police station.
Japan's greatest tragedy is having the world's best toilets and no Mexican food. What's the point of owning a Ferrari if you'll never take it to the track?
Oh my god. Very accurate, though. Damn it, now I want Mexican.
You're welcome.
Alright, they want more of this here thingamajigger for the commercializing of things. Well, I don't really have any places to put this. Oh, I guess I could put a shopping district here. There.
Alright. I think I shall put the stream on pause while I go get tacos and eat.
God damn it!
Well, fine. Jeez.
Says I want tacos. What does Rygone do? Goes and gets tacos and rubs it in my face.
Yes. They shall be delicious. I'll be right back. Unless people want me to continue streaming, in which case, yeah, I'll stream while I'm eating tacos. While pouring eating tacos would be so cute. Lip burp.
Actually, I should probably be getting over to the other, call now.
Oh no. Okay. Bye-byes forever.
Until tomorrow.
And never.
Nope.
Yeah, I'll
just
see you later
tomorrow.
tonight.
Probably will see me tonight.
Have fun with your game.
You have a good
Thank you.
time, too.
Yeah, thank you for letting your chat listen to the story.
Thanks for reading.
Of course. Bye-bye.
Bye. Le Duc.
Hi, Sim.
Hello.
Another arrives.
This one is currently absorbed and addicted to City Skylines II.
Nice.
We'll replace this block with commercial. Oh, you want to complain about high rent? Well, you'll get your house demolished.
The pettiest, only the pettiest of architects in this city. Only the-
No worries, Slitherite. Place your troops to stream Adis. I'll end the city skyline stuff once we get people together for actually doing,
Hi, Rex.
Hey, just made it.
Oh, was not expecting you here on time. Cool.
In fact, even
ow!
You said you were gonna be late.
Yeah,
I am late.
No, you're early.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yes,
I'm
really.
later.
Yes, really.
It doesn't
start
start
time
for
is-
2 minutes.
I
Yeah.
know, but I consider this late because I need like 20 minutes to prepare so I can get my
Oh.
stuff.
Oh, fair, okay.
Because if you wanted to start at 6 on the dot, I'm late.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
Let me look up the documents.
well,
on
you are
review now.
physically here.
But
Don't
am I
worry.
mentally here?
Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not like
Right.
Don't worry. It's not like we ever start on time, anyways. You have time to prepare.
I want to start on time. But yeah, I had to go in today, so sadly. Let's see.
The 7 o'clock is always a tentative. It's always a tentative schedule.
Well, at least I have a good record. I haven't missed a day yet, so
We.
Let's see. How are y'all doing?
I'm building a city.
You've been building that city for the last like 2 sessions. How big is that city now? Well, you blew up the first city. Is this the second one that's still been going
I
strong?
did
you
not
break it
blow up the first city.
Okay, a tornado came by and then you blew up the city.
I did not blow up the city. I just abandoned it.
Okay, if I remember right. Oh, I remember you drowned it. You drowned the city.
No, I
With
didn't.
the river. Yeah, I remember the water was like flooding it, wasn't it?
Did you know? I arcs the city?
I thought that's what happened.
No.
What happened to the first city then?
The tornado hit, took out the recycling center and the power, and I didn't
Okay.
have the money to replace them.
Ah.
Okay, so it was all the tornado. Got
Yeah.
it. I remember there being
Yeah.
a flood, but okay.
It was one of those
It
where
wasn't-
it was eventually going to fail anyways, so...
Fair
So-
enough.
So that timeline had to be left. Alright. I'm gonna go and do my skimming. I didn't catch all of yesterday's updates, so if there's anything yesterday I should key in on, please tell me.
The main thing
For
is
these.
just the specialties are finished for the rewrite of
Oh,
them.
nice. Okay, I'll go look at those. Natural skills, specialties, boop. Oh, those are all marked out.
And you're at the wrong section, you go up.
You go up. Train skills, natural skills, everything got marked out. Ooh, I need to get out potentially. Let me go scroll up more. There we go. There we go. Ooh, this looks nice. Specialties. Okay, there we go. I like it. I like reading that. Everyone's unique. Stand out amongst the crowd.
Wait.
It's a different hairstyle or clothing.
If I have disasters turned off and I cause a flood, all the citizens will just ignore being underwater? Oh.
What?
Wait, really?
That's silly. That's silly and
Ah.
funny.
They must be in London. They must be.
Dang.
Is
I don't know. We'll
London
have
known-
to consult Rob when he gets here.
Is London known for its floods? I didn't know that was a thing.
It's known for its perpetual rain and fog. It's always moist, one way or another.
Oh, I see.
Y'all good with starting at 6:30? Give me some time to breathe.
I suppose. But the city won't last without my guidance.
You don't have to stop managing your city.
I need to prepare to send them all to the dark area.
Asher, you
The
gotta stop
dark-
sending people to the dark area. We're running out of room, Asher.
The dark
Also,
area?
these traps. Why you
The
keep putting
dark
traps all in your
area
city?
is infinite.
Asher, I don't think the citizens appreciate the traps you put by the library and the hospital.
When you guys say the dark area, I can't help but think of the Shadow Realms from the Yu-Gi-Oh dub.
Same. And it makes me smile every time.
The Shadow Realm actually came out after the dark area.
Hold the line.
Oh?
The dark area was Digimon Hell,
Stellar
basically.
Fox raided my stream with 9 views.
Was that the 4 kids thing they changed it to, or was that always? Was that the Digimon one they changed to, or was it always there, like the 4 kids thing?
I don't think Digimon was dubbed by 4Kids in the US, but it did have some changes.
It had some changes, yes.
In the US dub.
Okay.
So was the dark area a dub invention?
Guys,
Because I don't remember.
I've got a raid here.
They said no.
So.
No. Sorry.
Hello, Stella. Thank you very much for that raid. Welcome on in. How are you? How was your stream? Would you like a regular shout out or a random clip brought up from your channel? Also, welcome on in, everybody. I am Razim. We are currently doing some... We are currently doing some City Skylines 2, though we'll be switching over to doing Lost in Chaos Scar, one of our Pokemon Mystery Dungeon tabletop campaigns here shortly. Let's see if the clips are actually working.
Didn't know you were doing a raid. Apologies that you're calling out somebody in the chat or something. Actually, I'm just catching on that you're streamed. Anyway, hey, sweetie. That's the you rated, as you called it.
Okay. Clip is not working. Sorry. I'll have to look into that. But either way, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate your sharing of your community with me. We're going to have a good time. Yes. But yeah, the dark area was before the Shadow Realm.
Get a bow. That was before.
Though the dark area, from what I know, has not actually come up in the anime for Digimon at all.
Actually, it was in Digimon. It showed up in Digimon Frontiers. Apparently, the one where the tamers turn into Digimon.
I think there was a mention of it in season 2 when Daemon got pushed back into it.
So there's a difference between the dark area and the... Oh yeah, it was in the first, yes. So the dark area is basically Digimon Hell. That's the
Digimon
essential. No,
Digimon Heck. I know. I just like saying heck.
How dare you use that kind of language in my channel?
Audience.
Oh, shoot.
I apologize profusely.
Razim's Minecraft server. How could you? It's on fire.
Some people's kids, I tell ya.
So the dark area is basically Digimon Hell. That makes sense. Arf, arf.
That's correct. Indeed.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Jester.
The dog
Hello there,
agrees.
Bellasaw.
Oh, hey, Jester. What's up? Let me see. What's up? Ah, so it is. Okay, I was correct. Paz is doing the recap. And then I'm doing it next week. Cool.
Yeah, I'm the one that's doing a recap, and this time I'm actually ready. Thankfully.
I am definitely thinking that I'm gonna start just... Like, I enjoy doing it based on who was most relevant to the last session, for lack of a better way of putting it, because it... Or not really relevant, but, you know.
Most involved.
Yeah. Had the biggest
Most
story point. That's the way I'll put it. But at
If
the
we
same
went by,
time... Huh?
I was gonna say if we went by that for this week, it'd definitely be Chomper the one that did it.
Yeah, but we're gonna put you in and have you do it.
I'm happy with that. I'm actually ready, so I have notes.
What it means.
Right?
Also,
Yes.
real quick, I have something very important to say. Rex is a very good boy.
I did witness that.
Wait, what? Rex
You
is what?
tease him a lot with that.
All right, moving on. Enja, question. XP 90, right?
The dog did not let me hear whatever Sim said. Damn it.
I said Rex is a very good boy.
Ah, okay.
Oh, yeah, so XP 90. What's the total of that XP? Try to get it so I can fix it up.
Let's see. I believe I'd handed out 20 experience for the last session, plus the additional 5.
Put it on there, yes.
So I think we are actually at 100.
800?
No, 800. 100.
Oh, okay.
Imagine getting 800 out of nowhere. You would have had to finish the campaign early. And then I'm saying that as a jest.
New game plus.
I mean,
did you?
I guess.
I think you gave out the attributes and I already used them already. Yeah, I already put them on.
I gave myself one in mind. Yes. I can shoot better now. Blast.
Nice.
Kaz, can you check your character sheet? You're usually okay at noting down the proper amount of experience.
I put 90. I put 95 on mine. So I'm not sure if that's correct or not.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Plus then the 5 when the session was over.
Oh yeah, I may have forgotten to put that in.
So yes, we are at 100. This sheet is correct then.
Doggone
Oh,
unhappy
these
about where it's
dogs.
at.
I was about to say, Enja, yeah, your dogs are going out of control.
Wow, people are actually happy that I put down a parking lot.
I mean, you'd be surprised especially if you're in a city that has to like have those parking lots that people are like owning themselves, and they always charge like $5-10 every time.
We're gonna make the roadside parking fee $30. And then our manually placed parking lots will be $25. Well, this one I'll make only 22. There is a traffic jam here. I think I need to work on upgrading this, all these streets to large roads. Considering this highway is congested out the wazoo. Holy shit. Holy shit balls, holy shit balls, holy shit balls, holy shit, oh fucker.
What? Is that is that some sort of song?
It is.
I see.
It's the internet. Does that really surprise you?
Oh,
It's the swearing song. I don't remember where it comes from exactly, though. A song comprised entirely out of swear words.
Yep.
I see. I wonder what Rob is. I know that they say he was going to be late because he's picking up dinner.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I think I know what I'm gonna do because I haven't had a move in a while. I think I might try to focus that.
Be right back a moment.
Alrighty.
Just gotta figure out what.
Alright, to actually do this, I'm gonna have to move my cemetery.
Ah, yes, I'm remembering more now. I believe the main verse was, "Holy shit." No.
Why is the cemetery so big?
All right, groceries are in, food is grab. How we doing?
Oh,
What's up,
hello.
pal?
I guess I should stop this now.
You must stop the city building. You have to let them run themselves.
Well, to be fair, that we still don't have Ed. After all, we still need Rob. All right, let's get all this shit set up.
So, how's the new DLC for a very, very, very old game?
If you're talking about Age of Empires 2, my beloved, it is actually pretty damn good. They took some elements from Age of Mythology, which was really interesting to me, especially because Age of Mythology Retold is currently being made and is about like a year into development now. A little bit over, actually, I think. And specifically, they gave two of the newer civs, the Georgians and Armenians, the Norse cart, but it only works on food. It only works on wood, gold, and stone. It doesn't work on food, which is actually probably a good thing, although it is kind of sucky, because one of the most annoying but also coolest aspects about farming as the Norse in Age of Mythology is that you could stick an ox cart in the middle of nowhere and plop down all your farms and like put ox carts like all throughout it, and it gives it like perfect farming efficiency throughout, like no matter what. But sadly you can't do that in Age of Empires, except you kind of can with Khmer, but not with the ox carts. I've already beaten one of the 5 new campaigns, because there's 3 in actual Age of Empires 2. I've completed 1.5. I got halfway through the second one today. And then there's 2 more in Rise of Rome. So I'm also going to have to go back and play those. But yeah, they also gave a Persians rework, which is really interesting, because Persians were already pretty good. Like, they were already one of the best hybrid civs in the entire game. Like, professionals, like, during tournaments were picking Persians. And they made them better. So I'm fully expecting that Persians are going to be one of the top choice picks in Age of Empires until there's a rebalance. Armenians, they also have a couple of really strong buffs, but they're like the problem with the Armenians and Georgians, I think, is that they're going to be menaces late game, but they're going to be awful in the first 2 ages, which is Dark and Feudal. They're going to pick it up in Castle and hit their stride late Castle. In Imperial, they're going to be absolute menaces. But the problem is that because they have the carts instead of the buildings, one of the biggest things that you do in Age of Empires is building wall. And specifically what you do is you use your resource drop-off building as a bit of a focal point to build some palisades around, so that way you do something that's called either short wall or egg wall, depending on the style that you're doing. And what you do is it like boxes in all of your villagers, but it also means that like enemy scouts or militia or anything like that can't reach them. Obviously, archers can still just shoot over the walls. But it really helps out your early defenses, being able to like build those off of your resource drop-off point. However, the Armenians and Georgians will be completely incapable of doing that. So I'm thinking that if you see that you're going against Armenians or Georgians, you just ramp up that feudal aggression and you never let off. Like, there's no reason to like let them vibe. There's no reason to fast castle. There's no reason to fast imp if you're going Turks or something. Like, the only time where I think they can get around that weakness is and be better for it is in arena, because the benefit is that once you build the cart, you can have it follow the villagers to the resource drop-off, so you don't need to refresh your lumber camps or anything like that. Or you only need to build it once, and then you can send it around to like all the various gold piles you collect from. It's also weaker to getting sniped. Like if there's like a little raid come by, like they can just snipe the cart and then fuck off and leave, because now you can't collect there for a little bit. So it also means that you're able to get like a little bit of lightning rated. But the biggest problem is the early game lack of walling on open maps if you're running Armenians and Georgians.
Of justice.
I somewhat regret asking.
I'm back, and I have a request.
What's that?
All right.
Zim, can I drink this Red Bull?
Yes.
Cool.
You ask someone something they're passionate about, and then are surprised when they talk about it extensively.
I mean, I was. I don't know what I
toned down-
expected.
I toned down the detail though.
I know you did. I know you did.
I faded away like at some point during that. I was all about it. I'm very happy. You're happy. I just don't know. It's too much information.
But I toned down the information, Deluge.
That is.
It does sound fun,
why it was a lot.
But I toned it down.
Just imagine how it actually is now.
And that was still a classroom's essay.
Meh.
Oh, I made a mistake. Dang it. I can't do expertises. I can't level that up. Let me take that off. I was trying to level up teamwork for some reason. It's like, I was in my head. I was like, oh, yeah, we did a lot of teamwork. I should level this up. Like, I'm like, oh, wait. We don't do that.
Wait, hold on. Those are merits. Merits.
Yeah.
Those.
Yeah, remember, you're not allowed to use the blue flavor XP to level up the red. You need to use the red XP.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I knew that. I stopped myself. I'm just saying I caught it.
Oh no, that sigh was at Taldarius's comment.
I keep calling it blue and red XP.
I mean, if you were to redraw it, like you do the Scar version, and you made it different colors, I think it would be a good way to tell them apart. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, I could, like, if I just...
You color code expertise and
I don't know why I'm doing it the other way around, but I mean, technically speaking, I could. It's the benefit of making the damn sheet, but yeah.
No, it's a little suggestion. That sounds like a good idea. Color code the merit ones, so you know which ones are different visually.
But yeah, just wait until the 3rd, where the new EU4 DLC comes out, and I get to talk about the in-depth EU4 mechanics that are changing. Won't that be lovely?
I would love to hear it, actually. I actually got up at the... I had to go and get something, but I was listening. It was a lot, though, but it was interesting. Glad they're still making DLC.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Okay, 5 minutes till I'm booting up the game. And, yeah, I'm good. I think I recapped Scar. I got my XP. Everything else is going to have to be when I have enough merits or when I do it in game.
Room's open.
Oh shoot, where are our merits at? Let me see. Where did I put those things at? Let me go grab them.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Sorry for being
Oh,
late.
there's
I forgot
Rob.
the clocks rolled back. I forgot the clocks rolled back the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, this is like the...
Oh, did you have any plans for after the session, Tim? More
nothing yet. Probably gonna take the rest of the night off. But you do have plans after the session.
Oh, I do?
You and Bianca.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Let's see.
Okay, I'm tearing myself away before I keep building. It's just one more plot. Just one more plot. Just one more plot. That's just one more plot.
Is that gonna be what your
just one more
town's
road.
called? One more plot. One more road. It just keeps going. Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Expand.
So, yeah. Thank you everybody for joining us for City Skylines 2. Before I continue going with one more. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more there on the website, as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that allows me to continue to bring these streams to you all. I cannot do this without your guys' help and support, whether your support is financial or just with your time. Do remember to check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/ZGFgaming. Streaming is my only source of income, so I appreciate all of your support that you guys can possibly give, because it keeps the roof over my head and keeps these streams going. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. And for now, thank you so much again, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye-bye.